All right, good afternoon. Before we start, please make sure you got pen and pencil beside you so easily for you to do notes for some of the important points. Because for this session, I will not record. Okay, I will not do any recording. Everything that I mentioned, please note down some of the important things by your own. Please do prepare your own paper and pen. Okay, so we are going to start within 3 minutes so that we're still waiting for others people. Please make sure you join the Telegram group. Whatever I show you the all the documents, okay, all the documents that I'm going to share today will be sent into the Telegram. So everything will be sent into the Telegram. So that's why later on, you just note down some of the important points. Okay. All the documents will be sent into the Telegram. You may go and download from the group. Okay. So if you realize your friend not yet joining, please do go and help me to remind them it's time to join. All right. So let's start for this afternoon briefing. So before that, I need you to check all your placement. Is there anything I type it wrong or what? Just open your mind and let me know. Check your own placement. And then Vivian, Wensing, and Madalena, can you let me know where do you want to do your practicum to?
我是那个 Melodies Children Home
Vivian 啊，
啊，对，
我是 Ellie，那个我是 Tatika Cuties，
哦，他叫 QD 啊，不是 Sri Eureka。
呀呀 Cuties，
Eureka 是幼稚园的是吗？
对，
哦哦。
老师，我是文心，我也是那个 Methodist Chinese Kindergarten，也是富马里那里。
好，可以。 All right. Double check anything wrong with all your placement. Practicum placement. All right. So for here, okay. So since this is your final practicum, so what I want you to know that during your last practicum, please always do remember put whatever you already know, whatever you already learned in these 2 to 3 years of the diploma, put all your knowledge into practice. Okay, and then also because it's your final already, please go and discover your teaching style and then try to think of what and why are you going to study this after you getting your cert. What is your pathway that you are going to move on? Where is your field that you wish to continue? Another one is during your practicum, please always clear about your role and your responsibility as a professionals. And the last one is your attitude, which is very important. I keep on repeating. Attitude is very important during your practicum because when you do your practicum in any kindergarten, you are representative of the MPI. So however people look at you will be MPI. Okay, so hopefully you will know who are you. You are not just you, but you are also one of the student at MPI. Okay, and also people look at you as a professional because you have the knowledge of early childhood education. Okay, so next one is the final checking. Please make sure all your ECE subject already pass and complete. Okay, some of you, because of the extension of your practicum one, your result might slightly late a little bit to release. So, mostly, if not mistaken, your result will be released around 20th of May. Okay, 20th of May. So 20th of May, you may check your result. And then another one reminder, if your MOET not yet get band 3 for the exit requirement, please make sure you quickly go and take your MOET or else you cannot graduate. And make sure it's at least band 3. Okay, and also checking MPU subject, double check whether you take the correct MPU subject or not. Okay, including the effective Kong and bahasa kebangsaan. Okay, it's all regards on your SPM, ada credit, ada tidak ada credit. Okay, so if you have any issues that you want to mention, please quickly find me through private message me and tell me, let me know. Okay, so hopefully no problem. Okay, hopefully. Okay, next one, exit requirement. I think most of you no problem on this. Your minimum CGPA must be more than, cannot less than 2.0. Okay, and then if you want to get a graduate, of course your MOE must be band 3, and also you must complete your diploma within 5 years. This one I think no problems for all of you. Okay, then this is your timeline for your practicum 2. So please take note, kindergarten usually they only operate for half morning. Okay, whole morning, not afternoon. Even though they have afternoon sections, that is considered as care. They don't have any classes. So we will consider it as practicum 1 style. So we cannot calculate the afternoon section as practicum 2. We cannot count in. Okay, we cannot count the hour unless, okay, you really have class, you really are going to teach in the afternoon. Okay, so only as I think only for Woodlands, Daniela, she can calculate more hours in there because she will do until afternoon, right? They will have afternoon class. So that will be calculate more hours for her. Okay, the rest maximum one morning we will calculate maximum 5 hours per day. 5 hours per day. So which means Monday to Friday, 5 hours. All together will be 25 hours. Unless there is a public holiday or special holidays for that certain kindergarten. Okay, public holiday or special holidays cannot be calculated the hours. So please take note on that. So May of 11, just now as I already mentioned there, 11 May will be the first day for you to start your practicum tool. Okay, so before that, which means after today's briefing, you may start to do all the list here. First one, make sure you meet up with the principal of the school first so that they can arrange you to the particular class. Okay, based on practicum 2, the age group stated there is 4 to 6 years old. Okay, 4 to 6 years old. But I did not encourage you to take up the 4 years old unless you are the teacher there. You already working at that school and the principal place you in the 4 years old class, then that cannot be changed. Okay, I allowed that for 4 years old. But the rest of you, if you are not the teachers there, it's better you take 5 or 6 years old. Okay, because 4 years old is a very confusing age group. It's actually overlap with practical one. So I actually not encourage okay to take 4 years old class. So please take note, either you choose 5 or either you choose 6. Okay, let the principals know and make sure you need to clarify with the principals between during the period of your practicum. Is there any holidays coming up happening in the school, or even the school have any event on certain date? So you need to take notes, huh? All right, and then of course, kindergarten that one we can calculate as an extra hours for you. Okay, but you need to write a reflection on that day. Okay, so which means normally your reflection is only right from Monday to Friday. But if that week you have a teachers meeting or training during Saturday, okay, the hours will be calculated, can be calculated, but you need to write a reflection. All right, and instead of that, okay, try to get the information of the of that school, of that kindergarten, because you need to prepare some of the information to introduce the preschool. All right, for example, this preschool, how many class do they have? Each class have how many teachers? All the teachers, are they qualified in diploma early childhood education as a basic? Okay, and then also some of the basic information for your own class kamu sendiri. Which class are you in? Okay, what is the class name? How many teacher are they? How many children are they? And then do they have their own timetable? Including another one is their yearly plan, right? Because yearly plan will help you to know coming out what are the lessons that you may teach in future. All right, so all the particular informations, whatever you think is important, please try to get from the principals when you meet up with her so that you can put into your introduction, including if you want to put some extra information such as whether the class have children with special needs or not. Okay, if you want to put some information such as supervisor to have some idea and have some background to know that actually these are the backgrounds of the classroom that you are going to do your practicum there. Okay, So instead of that, you need to write your philosophy, okay, your own philosophy of ECE. And then also you need to write a refine on your code of ethics, or we say ethical sense. Huh? So later on, of course, I will tell you what are the guidelines, how are you going to write that. Okay. So this will be your practicum period starting from 11 May until 24th July. All right. So same as the calculation as practicum one, you need to calculate at least 8 weeks. Okay, but as what I say just now, kindergarten only have half day program. Okay, which means 5 hours in the morning. So 5 hours times 5 days only. Saturday they don't have one. So actually 1 week you only have 25 hours. So even you make it up until 8 weeks, your hours are still not fulfilling because we say at least 210 to 240. So which means what I calculate for you here is already 9 weeks. Okay, here already cover more than 9 weeks because including there is a school holidays, which is about 23rd May until 6 June. This is the kindergarten and the primary school 出地，这个是 fixed 的了。Okay, this is already fixed. So that 2 weeks kamu tak boleh kira masa. Okay, unless the school have some programs inside. They have some events within it, and then you are invited to help. Now that one we will have another others consideration. Okay, so that one just take notes. I already calculate for you already. So almost memang kalau tak ada apa-apa accident, you try not to be absent. Okay, try not to be absent. Attend every day to do your practicum too, and then also fulfill your hours. So all these, the last day for you to end out your practicum two will be on 24th July. Okay, 24th July. Of course, if you want to replace, you can still extend 1 more week. Okay, you can still extend 1 more week because kalau sampai September masih boleh lah. But I tell you, jangan extend terlalu lama. Kalau extend terlalu lama, you cannot make it for your graduation. Okay, graduation will be on in November, but for the administration part, they need 1 month, 1 bulan untuk untuk sediakan semua dokumen kamu untuk graduation punya. Jadi jangan terlalu lambat habis practicum 2 kamu. Okay or not? So the last day, if you don't take any holidays whatever, the last day for you to have your practicum is 24th July. Okay, so this is all the component you need to have inside your file. Okay, so the handbook ada. Inside the handbook, we have this already. So you can, according to the handbook, based on this component, kamu susunkan dokumen kamu. So nowadays, actually, all of us, we will go for, we will save green. We will go for the soft copy. Right? Unless you need to ask your supervisor because different supervisor they will have different preferences. Some of the supervisor they wish you to print out all your documentation. Okay, if you really your supervisor asks you to print out, please make sure you use the partitions. Okay, all the color one, all the partitions to separate it into 12 parts. Okay, when you hand in your practical file. Okay, and then setiap bahagian, kalau ada rubric, if there is rubric in the handbook, please attach the rubric. Okay, attach the rubric into the practicum file as what you have done in your practicum 1. Okay, and then again, same practice. After you finish and you submit your practicum file, sila hantar satu soft copy kepada saya. Okay, please make sure send a soft copy to me. You may send through email. Okay, email is very easy. Just in case if the file is too big, you cannot send through email. You can send me through the Telegram. Okay, so please take note. And then another one, basically, you need to jumpa. Okay, you need to meet your supervisor every once a week. Okay, setiap minggu satu kali. Sekurang-kurangnya. All right, this is why. The reason why we want you to meet out with your supervisor every week is because we want to make sure you are in your progress. None of you is left behind. Because if you're left behind, you might not manage to finish all your documents on time. Okay, so please take note. After you finish, we are only giving you 3 days to finish and tidy up all your practicum file, all your documents, and then you need to hand in within that 3 days. So, for example, if you usually will finish the practicum on Friday, right? So, usually the last day for you to hand in is Monday. 3 hari sahaja untuk kamu buat semua finalize. So, Monday will be the last day for you to hand in. All right. So if you cannot finish, you keep on delay your works. You may not manage to finish all the things on time. So please make sure every time when you meet up with your practicum supervisor, okay, please make sure everything that you always, okay, let her check for you, or else somehow if you delay, you may not manage to finish and graduate on time. All right, so please take note of that. Okay, another one, what you need to do before the practicum, very easy. Some of you, you are having your practicum in the same place, so I will just send the letter to one of your friend, and then you might need to make a time, make an appointment with the principal, and then all of you, you need to go together to meet the principal. In the meantime, you need to send the permission letter for the principal to sign. Right, so this is something that before you are going to start, so 11 May, you still have 2 to 3 weeks for you to make appointment and meet out with the principles. So please take note of that. And then another one, as just now I mentioned, gather the information about the classes learning content. What are the subjects they have? Okay, what kind of book or textbook they are using? Do they have any extra textbook for you to have a look and then for you to see? And then do they have their own timetable and etc.? So try to get the informations as much as you can, right? And then the third one is structure the learning program. Okay, better you get the weekly plan or daily lesson plan itu mereka tak bagi, kamu nak tulis sendiri. Right? Usually is the weekly plan, or we say the monthly plan for every bulan, setiap bulan, so that you will know, oh, hari ini, bulan ini, apakah tema mereka, apakah subtema mereka, so that you will know what are they teaching, right? So instead of that, okay, next one, please always be responsible for other tasks that the class teacher or the principal asks you to do. This is something extra for you to learn. Okay, take that opportunity as an opportunity for you to learn that you cannot learn during your practicum. Understand what I mean? Okay, that is the chances for you to learn extra thing. Okay, extra thing that you might not able to learn during your practicum. So they will ask you to do something, they will ask you to have some training, try to participate in. Instead of saying say, Miss Helen cakap ini tak ada, ini tak ada, maka kenapa saya mau bazil masa saya pergi training itu. That is your own business. I say already, take that as your own extra learning time. Okay, it will benefit you, bukan benefit saya. Alright, so prepare your practicum file. Okay, during so setiap kali when you start teaching during your practicum, please make sure lesson plan is prepared. Okay, and then when the supervisor come and observe you, you have the lesson plan ready for the supervisor, so that the supervisor will have a look on your lesson plan, and they will have some ideas on what you are going to teach today. All right, and then make sure you do your reflection after the lesson has been observed. You may ask your supervisor, is there anything you can improve for what you have teach today? All right. And then also attend additional input section. This is just like I say already. Not only the school training, but if MPI kita sendiri sini, diploma ke degree, ECE, kalau kita ada training, ada apa workshop, we invite you to join. If you have time, please join. Okay. So always do remember during your practicum, behave professionally and ethically, meeting the expectation, be punctual, and also develop professional relationship and be proactive. Be proactive means take the initiative. Jangan tunggu orang panggil kamu baru kamu bertindak. Understand what I mean? 不要等到人家叫你，你才行动，请你自己主动。Alright, try to take the initiative. Be active on everything. If you see there is a needs on the children, the teacher needs help or whatever, sila cepat-cepat pergi tolong. Jangan tunggu cikgu panggil kamu, baru kamu bertindak. Okay? So, yang apa kamu nak buat hari ini selepas briefing? The very first one is the agreement. Okay, this agreement you need to sign together with your supervisor. So, which means after you met up with the principal, you get all the information before you start your practicum. Please make sure you meet with your supervisor. Okay, no matter it's online or no matter it's face to face. As long as you meet with your supervisor and you sign the agreement. Okay, this agreement is the same with what you have agreed in your practicum one. Okay, read carefully on the agreement. I will send the agreement in the group. Okay, another one is the practicum schedule. Later on, I will show you what is that. And then also another one is the official letter. Okay, so some of the school is quite new for me. I need you to provide all the information here. So everyone, please make sure you provide all the information for me, including your name and your student ID. Okay, because I want to include all this information into the consent letter. Okay, and then I will I will send to you the official letter in the group. So every school sila download dan print, cedakkan, print it out, and then when you go and meet with the principal, bring the letter together with you. So if the principal after they sign, okay, these are the procedures that you need to carry out is take a photo or scan the document that the principal have already signed, and then you need to attach it into your practicum file. The original print out letter, the principals that have signed the original one, if you are in Cebu, please send to MPI when you are free. Okay, you can pass to Miss Grace Chu, and then she will pass to me. All right, the original one. If you are outstation, you just scan the document and send to me through email or through telegram, as long as I have the copy. Okay, Anat? All right, then after that, instead of the letter, another one is the refine of the ethical sense. This one, we have a little bit of the we have a little bit of revise on this one, because we realize that actually our Malaysia, our country, we have our own code of ethics. So instead of using the international NAEYC code of ethics, we add on another one is the Malaysia code of ethics. So that document I also will attach it into the telegram later. Okay. So after that, another one, this will be your supervisor. Okay, all the list I already arranged it already for you. Okay, but who is under MCK? Vivian and Wen Xing. Vivian and Wen Xing. Oh, sorry, I need to switch two of you. Vivian under Miss Amira, and then Wen Xing under Miss Shelley. Okay. So because Wen Xing and Madalena will be at the same school, so easy for her to go to one place enough. Okay. So please take note of that. That will be the latest list. All right. And then this is another one. So those who are outstation, you are under me. And then the rest will be under different supervisor. Any questions? If you have any questions, you can just open your mind straightforward. Ask me, or else later nanti saya lupa apa-apa sudah. Any questions? Before I move into the handbook. No? All right, another one for basic, uh, what is that called? Basic attitude. Okay, basic attitude wise, not not only saya sahaja, bukan saya sahaja, 不是只有我 not only me as a supervisor, but the rest of the supervisor, please, whatever that text to you, give it. Whatever the supervisor tells you something, as long as you send an icon and or you just reply note, they will know that you kamu menerima, kamu sudah baca message mereka. Jangan senyap sahaja. Understand what I mean? Try to give the response. Okay? Because I might receive some of the supervisors tell me, siapa-siapa, saya beritahu dia nak buat ini, nak buat itu, dia tak ada respon. Saya tak tahu dia sudah nampak message saya atau tidak. Okay, so try to give response when the supervisor sends you some of the message. All right. If no questions, then we will move on to the practicum handbook. Can you see my screen? Am I sharing? All right. For the handbook, some of the details I will not go through one by one, but you have your own responsible to study all the details inside. Okay. So for here, uh, because I think most of you are not the teacher for that kindergarten, and maybe you are the new teacher, I don't know lah. But for the very first week of your practicum, we do not ask you to straightforward go and teach or carry out a lesson. Okay, so please take note, you are given 1 week to do observation, not only observation, but to adapt yourself to the class together to get to know the teachers, to get to know the children, and also to let the children get to know you. All right, so the very first day, please remember to inform the teacher. I am the practicum student here. Later on, before the class start, can you introduce me to the children? If they forget, just a reminder. That is a very proper processes. It's better they introduce you to the children, or else children might not know you are the teacher. All right, so instead of that, okay, we're going on, carry on. Not only the 5 days observation, during that observation, you are also need to do some task, right, during that week. So inside that weeks, later on, I will tell you what are the things that you need to do. Okay, although you are not teaching, but you need to do something. All right. So for practicum two, the majority that you need to do is teaching. So of course, when you need to teach, you need to write lesson plan. All right. So before you write a lesson plan, please make sure you discuss, bincang dengan class teacher. Discuss with the class teacher first. Next week, for example, next week, I would like to teach bahasa English dan mathematics. Is that okay? Is that okay you arrange me for teaching one subject, one section of bahasa English and then one section for for mathematics. Kalau cikgu itu okay, okay, kamu tanya dekat teks muka surat keberapa yang saya nak ajar. So always remember, discuss with the class teacher. Okay, somehow you may start with the subject you feel more confident with. Okay, start with the subjects that you feel more confident with. Then you write your lesson plan. After you come out your lesson plan, based on the syllabus given, so what we already said, okay, you are going to send to your supervisor at least 48 hours, or we say 2 days before you teach. The best one is a week before. Okay, we don't want to do the last minute. Esok kamu nak ajar, hari ini baru hantar lesson plan kepada supervisor. Ini kita biasanya tidak akan kira itu sebagai lesson plan kamu. Okay? If you do like that, we will just straightforward say this lesson plan cannot be calculated as one of your practicum. You may continue to carry out that lesson, but we will not calculate inside your practicum. You need to write another lesson plan. Okay, so please beware of this. We don't encourage the last minute work, because not only supervisor need to check, after they checking, you need to send the lesson plan to the class teacher also. Okay, some of the class teacher, they want to look on your lesson plan. Mereka nak tengok apa yang kamu telah rancang. Jadi bukan sahaja Mereka mungkin cakap, tak perlu. Walaupun tak perlu, masih kamu nak hantar satu kopi kepada mereka. Okay, this is what we say respect. Okay, telling them that, esok saya akan ajar macam ini. If you really have no idea dan atau kamu tidak ada yakin untuk ajar, betulkah kalau saya ajar macam ni, after supervisor look through or check through, you may send to the class teacher. And then you say, or you can get some idea from them first before you write the lesson plan. Okay, as long as they approve, you still need to have time to prepare your materials. So that is not able to do within 48 hours. Tak mungkin kamu boleh bersedia dalam masa 48 jam. So which means you need to send your lesson plan as early as you can. All right, and then you need to keep all the lesson plan complete. Bukan kosong punya dekat learning objective, learning outcomes and reflection. You need to make sure all these lesson plan are complete. Okay, include all the reflection, include all the tasks in the lesson plan. So everything you need to put it in. So supervising lecturers, they will help you. They will check your lesson plan and then they will tell you what are the things that you need to be careful. Somehow they will give you feedback. Okay. Of course, if you want to hear from more people, after you carry out the lesson, you may go and ask the class teacher, cikgu saya ajar macam ini bolehkah? Okay. So of course, somehow we will say, they will have more experience than you. So it's good that you go and ask for their opinion. The moment you ask, the moment you learn. Okay. So please be careful. And then another one, you're going to absent. Okay. Something that I already tell you. If you're going to absent, you really feel unwell. Okay. Make sure you inform 3 peoples. Okay. 3 orang mesti beritahu. First one is the class teacher. Second is principal. And the last person is your supervisor. All right. So make sure if you really feel unwell, go and seek for doctor. Okay. Seek for the doctor so that you can get the medical proof. Okay. Protect yourself also lah. Okay, another one, this is the assessment information. For the observation task, okay, that you need to complete in the very first week of the practicum. Jangan delay. Okay, if you really cannot manage, you may need to discuss with your supervisor. Do they allow you to extend for another week? Okay, walaupun dia compulsory, tak ada maka, walaupun dia tak ada maka, tapi compulsory kamu mesti buat ini. Okay, so this is only for the very first week of your observation week. Yang seterusnya tak perlu buat ini lagi. Kamu akan more focus on your lesson plan writing and lesson plan carry out. Okay, Anna? So observation tasks only will need to complete in the very first week of your practicum. Then next will be refine your ethical sense, 10 marks. Weekly reflection and professional goals, 20 marks. Lesson plan implementation, 20 marks. And then you need to do a case study on a child, which means you need to carry out the literacy and numeracy assessment. Okay, literacy biasanya bahasa Melayu, bahasa Cina, bahasa English, and also bahasa Cina. Okay, these are the main, we say main language literacy yang kita nak kamu jalankan. Of course, like Madalena and Daniela, because you are not good and you are not even learn in bahasa Cina, jadi kita kita bagi excuse kepada kamu optional untuk buat bahasa Cina. Tak perlu jadi kamu hanya buat bahasa Melayu dan bahasa English. The rest of you, you are required to have bahasa Cina literacy assessment. Unless the school yang kamu buat practicum itu, they do not have the subject of bahasa Cina。如果你实习的学校里面是没有华语课的话，那可以允许你不需要做华语的 assessment。OK。So numeric is formatting, child, and you need to carry out all this assessment. So after today, you may go and do revision, pergi cari balik apa yang kamu telah belajar dalam teaching BM, teaching BI, teaching mathematics. Ini tiga assessment assignment kamu telah buat sudah. Go and find out. Go and pergi buat ulang kaji. How's the assessment look like? Biasanya mereka yang kamu telah buat punya, gunakan format itu pun boleh. Okay, but of course you need to ask your supervisor first. Adakah saya buat macam ini betulkah? Sebelum kamu mula assess, mula menilai budak itu. Alright, so that will be around 25 marks. And then for your supervisor evaluation, ini dia akan ada 20 markah dekat sini. 10 markah dia akan evaluate tentang kamu dengan dia punya meet up whatever. Okay. And then another 10 marks will be the moment that the supervisor going observe you. Okay. And then the last one will be your class teacher assessment. Kelas cikgu itu dia akan bagi kamu markah, 5 markah dekat sini ya. So 100. Alright. So always do remember your practicum. Practicum students, you must fulfill minimum 210 hours, or we say right? If that is not place back the hours that you miss, Okay, another one is the practicum policy and procedures. So just now, things if you are ask a sick leave or the proof inside your practicum. Okay, so as not really, you need to make out the days and so inform supervisor, class teacher, and principal. Beritahu mereka kamu akan absent. Okay, and then the next one, beware of the duty of care. Bukan saja kamu ajar, tapi jangan lupa lagi asuhan terhadap budak-budak. Uh, okay, you are totally responsible for an injury to a student arising from negligence on his or her part. So which means during the practicum, if there is a child 有一个孩子在你的引导下，或者是那时候刚好在你的面前受伤的话，那一个责任是你要去负的哦。That responsible, kamu yang akan bertanggung jawab. You cannot totally say it's none of your business. Alright, so whatever happens in the classroom, always remember inform the class teacher. Be very cautious. Okay, be cautious to every moment. 每一个时间都要保持警惕啊，不然发生什么事 可能你要负的责任是很大的哦。Alright, so very small things, whatever happens in front of you, quickly report to the class teacher. Whatever you do to get everything, you need to consider their health and also their safetyness. Okay, everything ah. So kalau hari ini kamu sendiri ada sikit tidak selesa, or you feel like you have a little bit of coughing, please do wear a mask when you go to school to protect you yourself, also to protect the children. Okay, that is the health and safety awareness that you might have and the practices have. Okay, another one is the practical placement. Okay, whatever we place you, of course, somehow we will. This is somehow that I will ask you, where do you want to do it? Okay, and then you have your own rights to choose the placement, right? Of course, the placement that you choose, I cannot guarantee is the best. It's a good place for you to practice everything, but try to learn. Ask whatever you are, then get the permission before you want to do anything. Just now, I already mentioned you need to make and in the garden. Always do remember, just now I say already. Other one is your expecting you to performance. Okay, whatever you performs in that case, better standard by the end of the placement, we have the right to extend you. Okay, a nice way to say, kalau supervisor dia rasa kamu masih tidak dapat pass. Okay, if your supervisor think that you might not able to pass your practice, they inform me. They will inform me, and then usually we will give you extension instead of directly give you a fail. That is the chances that we give to you. All right, understand what I mean? 就是说 which means that kita tidak harus gagal，我们不会直接 fail 你，we will give you another chance，我会给你另外一个机会，但是你要更多的时间去做你的实习，which means we say extension. Kita akan extend kamu. Siapa, you are going to extend your practical. You need to work hard to improve your performance for your practicum too. No matter it's documentation or the performance wise, always bear in mind. Okay, itu satu signal saya sudah beritahu kalau chance ini, saya extension ini masih kamu tidak dapat sampai, okay, berusaha sampai kamu pass 个时间，我延长你，你还是不能够达到我们给你及格的标准的话，kita akan bagi kamu fail，我们会直接给你 fail 哈。所以 extension 过 when we give you the extension, please, how we say, be very cautious, be very careful, and try to put your efforts to pull your marks out so that you can pass your practicum. All right, of course, supervisor and lecturers, we are willing to help you if you really have some weakness, if you really not do something. Okay, so please be careful on that. Kita bagi kamu peluang. We give you chances. We are not that bad. Terus bagi kamu fail. Okay, we will tell you you cannot fulfill some of the requirement. We need you to do more hours, more times to enhance your practicum. Okay, so it's a time for you to improve your performance. So please be aware of that. So that's why just now I said, even though maybe you have already finished your practicum at the end of July, but somehow due to your performance, your supervisor might extend your hours maybe until the mid of August. Okay, that means that the supervisor wants to help you. Okay, so please be aware of that. Okay, that is somehow we say during your practicum, you have demonstrate, you show something unprofessionalism that the principals or the class teacher tidak boleh tahan sudah. Mereka bertanggung jawab. Yeah, we department okay might have the rights to stop you or we say withdraw you or we will stop you straightforward from the school, which means kita ada hak untuk hentikan kamu dan panggil kamu stop kamu punya practical straightforward. Of course, this one we hope that there is no case happening okay, so hopefully because you don't show this type of behavior okay, including what you really cannot inability to cooperate with the class teacher with the principal in that kindergarten environment. Second is you show the attitude and actions that is antithetical to the professions of teaching, which means you do something or we say physical harm towards the children or some of the actions or attitude that we cannot accept. Okay, then we have the right to stop you immediately from your practicum. Another one, third, please take notes. Absence from your placement period without adequate explanation or documentation. Which means you keep on saying, principal hari ini saya tak dapat pergi esok pun saya tak dapat pergi dan hari ini memang kamu boleh pergi tapi mereka susun kamu aja, tapi kadang-kadang 10 o'clock in the morning baru kamu text class teacher, principal, saya tak dapat pergi Sorry you see, all these are the absent without adequate explanation or documentation dan selalu tidak hadir, kita pun akan stop you. Okay, because you are already affect the normal operation of that kindergarten. 你的缺席，还是你的这种的不负责任的行为，已经严重的影响到那一个园所的操作正常的营运的时候，some of the principals they will complain to me and they don't want to accept you to do practical at their school. We will have to stop you from that. Okay, so we really have this case happening. Don't think we don't have. So please always remember, be responsible and show the professionalism during your practicum. All right. So this is the another record that the template that we will give you. Okay, this record is setiap minggu kamu mesti ada for every week. If you look at this schedule, ini hanya satu contoh. You can get the time schedule from the class. Okay? Because some of the school they will not start at 7:30 straightforward. They might start at 8. So you can make the correction here based on your class schedule. Okay. Then after that, what I need you to do here is you need to do some recording Okay, buat sikit notes because we want to monitor apa yang kamu telah buat dalam kelas, dalam semasa kamu do practicum. Okay, because of course we have dulu lah lama masa tu memang few years banyak-banyak years ago we have some of the students when they do their practicum mereka pergi tadika itu kita realize based on this record the student did not have enough chances for teaching or however he do or she do is only duties other than teaching. So usually duty other than teaching somehow is clean out, wash the toilet apa-apa. So we realize that biasanya dia tidak ada banyak peluang untuk teaching. Okay, so for this recording, kita punya purpose ialah untuk make sure you learn everything balanced during your practicum. You have some chances to teach, you have some chances to observe, you have some chances to do others duty. Alright, so every week please do the recording. So kalau kamu yang ajar, sila kamu recordkan T. Okay, subjek apa kamu boleh buat nota dekat bawah. Observation memang kamu simpan O lah. Okay, and then teaching other duties kamu simpan D. Okay, apa yang kamu telah buat? Oh, saya sedang bimbingkan murid. So you just put guide. Okay, if you are doing the clean out section, you just write clean out. Understand or not? Okay, so that is something that setiap minggu kamu mesti buat tentang ini ya. Okay, and then another one is your attendance sheet. This attendance sheet sama dengan sign in, sign out. You can just put in the principal office or the place that setiap cikgu mereka sign in, sign out punya, kamu simpan bersama-sama. Alright, so please take notes. For this attendance sheet is only for you to record bila kamu ada hadir, bila kamu tidak hadir. It's not for you to calculate the hours. Okay, this is nothing to do with the calculation of your hours. Bukan sahaja, bukan hari ini saya sampai sekolah pada pukul 6.50. Okay, lepas tu saya balik pada pukul 1. Okay, then you will say, cikgu, saya ini lebih daripada 9 jam sudah. Boleh saya kira? No, no. This one is just for us to know that hari itu kamu ada hadir ke, bila kamu sampai dekat sekolah, bila kamu balik. Itu sahaja. Okay. So of course, yang record ini, template ini saya bagi memang tidak cukup untuk kamu. So that's why I will give soft copy. So if you want to add on, you can add on by yourself. And then you can print out and then put inside the principal office. And then the last one, remember to calculate how many days you absent. Kalau ada, adakah kamu place balik, ganti balik? Okay, if no, you just put 0, 0. That will be okay sudah. Okay, so make sure you sign and then bila kamu sign itu, bila kamu habiskan itu. Okay, so that is one of the records. Another record is when you meet up with your supervisor. Okay, every time you meet up with your supervisor, you need to record. So mostly ini hampir sama dengan practicum 1. And then we move into the task observation. Okay, task observation is only you need to do in the very first week when you start your practicum. Task dia ada 2. Okay, they are totally 2 tasks that you need to do in that observation week. For task 1, okay, yang kita punya target ialah you need to understand how a lesson is conducted. Bagaimana cikgu itu dia ajar. Dan juga cara yang dia ajar atau apakah skill yang dia telah guna untuk dapatkan attention of the class. So you need to analyze a lesson. Jangan lost focus tentang cikgu adakah dia ajar betul-betul atau apakah kelemahan semasa dia ajar. Bukan. We want you to observe is why. Okay, kerana biasanya mungkin kamu tidak pernah, you never see how a teacher teaching English subject, for example, phonics, or for example, bahasa Melayu, or example of science, pendidikan moral, etc. Okay, so you may choose during that section, kamu pergi observe bagaimana cikgu itu ajar terhadap subjek itu. Okay, this is something to help you to improve, to learn. Bagaimana cikgu itu ajar, bagaimana, apakah teknik-teknik strategi yang dia telah guna untuk menolong murid-murid mereka fokus, murid-murid belajar. Okay, so that is the chances for you to see how the teacher is teaching. Okay, so you can choose a subject, you can choose tuliskan bila kamu observe dan juga masa. And then hari itu berapa murid. Okay, then what you have to observe, these are all the guided questions. Okay, these are all the guided questions. Doesn't mean that you need to answer whole questions from here. Saya tidak panggil kamu jawabkan semua soalan di sini ya. Ini hanya soalan untuk guide kamu apa yang kamu boleh ambil perhatian semasa kamu observe sesi itu. Faham ke? Okay, so after you observe, then this is the times that you write your own. Okay, imagine, sila fikirkan, kamu ialah cikgu yang akan ajar for the next lesson. 你看完了之后 after you observe, after you observe, kamu sila fikirkan, imagine, you are the teachers that going to teach the last lesson or the next lesson. Apa yang kamu akan ajar? Kenapa? 你会接下来教什么东西？为什么？ Alright, just write half page of the A4. Text will be okay already. Nah, jangan terlalu panjang, half A4. Okay. Then that is the task 1. For task 2, kamu nak observe student. Okay, which means the children. Budak-budak. Okay, kenapa you need to observe the children? Because you need to get to know them. Okay, untuk kamu lebih tahu mereka dan juga apakah cara mereka belajar. What type of a learning mode, learning style they will more prefer on. Alright, so that is the one of the things that you need to observe. So observe the children in the classroom. So semasa observe, these are some of the area that you can observe. Bukan semua. Okay, ini hanya suggestion. You can focus on their learning style. You can focus on their motivation of learn. You can observe their interaction with teacher and also their friends. Alright, so after apa yang kamu telah observe, sila kamu buat catatan dekat sini. Okay, and then do some reflection. What have you observed? Did you observe that, this class of children, mereka punya motivasi ialah apa? Contohnya, cikgu selalu guna priority. Okay, teacher give them the privilege. 老师每次都给他们一些的优先权，所以那个是他们学习的动力。Okay, then you just write out. This is what you observe. Okay, and then somehow the teacher are using their most of the learning style is, for example, like bodily kinesthetic, and also somehow they use music. Most of those students in this class, they love music, so the teacher use a lot of music during her teaching. So this is what you have observed and what you have reflect on that. Okay, so this one also the same, half page of A4. Okay, sekurang-kurangnya at least half page of A4. So these two tasks kamu nak habis dalam minggu yang pertama. Okay, ada yang kamu mungkin akan tanya, maybe you will ask, teacher, can I observe one section and then I terus recordkan task 1 dengan task 2? Boleh. Okay, maksudnya contoh hari ini saya observe bahasa Melayu. Okay, lepas tu bukan sahaja saya observe bagaimana cikgu itu ajar, tapi pun saya akan tengok bagaimana murid-murid mengajar. Maksudnya saya observe 30 minit, saya habiskan task 1, task 2. Boleh. Okay, tapi this will depends on do you able to record so many things in that 30 minutes. Alright, it depends on your ability 啊。你可以一次过在一堂课里面看到这么多东西吗？如果可以，我都行。Kalau boleh, it's your freedom to do like that. If you really cannot, you want to have task 1, satu sesi untuk observe, task 2, another section to observe, pun boleh. Okay, can be optional. You can observe more lesson. Okay, you can observe more lesson. Instead of one lesson, you do 2 tasks. Jadi dia ada option lah. Option A, option B. It's based on you. Okay, it's based on you. Of course, if kamu tidak yakin tentang berapa subjek, jadi kamu nak observe 2, 3, 4 pun boleh. As long as you complete task 1 and task 2. Faham apa saya cakap? Of course, task 1 satu section, task 2 another subject. It will help you because you have the chances to observe 2 subjects, how the teacher teach. Alright. But if you are already the teacher's day, kamu fikir tak perlu bazirkan banyak masa untuk observe. Kamu observe satu section and then you do task 1 and task 2 sekaligus pun boleh. Right? So this one is depends on you yourself. How are you going to design? How are you going to finish this task 1 and task 2? Okay, then after that will be the refined ethical sense in early childhood practice. So ini, okay, this is the one that we have already amended because in your professional practice, I think you already learned what is an AEYC code of ethics, right? Okay, and also, if I'm not mistaken, should include already the code of ethics for the teachers in Malaysia. All right, so later on, I also will give these 2 documents in the Telegram. If you never or you already forget, you may go and have a look on that. So what you need to do in this task, the part 1, I already tell you step by step. Based on here, you just follow the step. Okay, apa yang kamu nak perlu buat? Yang pertama, pergi baca. Go and read Code of Ethics and EYC dengan Code of Ethics for Malaysia. Bacakan and then try to identify apakah kesamaan atau ketidaksamaan antara dua-dua ini. At least one. If you have 2, then you write 2. Okay, but at least one. 读 NAEYC Code of Ethics，然后再去读马来西亚的 Code of Ethics，找出它的相同跟不相同的地方，至少一个方面。Okay, then you write for this part 1. Okay, lepas tu, okay, next part, summarize the key ethical principle. Okay, memang dua-dua mereka punya key principle is more on responsibility to children, families, colleague, and kamu sendiri atau community lah. Okay, try to explain what these principles means to you as a future teacher. Okay, sebagai kamu seorang cikgu atau seorang cikgu di masa depan, apakah semua ini prinsip-prinsip dia bermaksud kepada kamu, dia membawa makna apa kepada kamu啊？他带给你以后成为老师，或者是现在已经是老师，他带给你什么样的一个影响？Then give at least 2 examples. Apa yang kamu telah mengalami? 你自己曾经经历过吗？把它写出来。At least 2 examples. Alright. Then after that, this will be semasa kamu punya practicum. So which means after today, you can start to do part A. Then part B will be during the practicum. Okay, during practicum, you may prepare a small notebook. 诶，你可以准备一个小册子在你身边，你可以时常带着它。Kamu boleh bawa di tepi kamu bersama dengan kamu lah. So whatever the situation happen, you can straightforward do the notes. Not only for the practical, for the ethical sense, but also for you to record down some things that you might need to do reflection. Okay, so record at least 2 to 3 real situation that you felt unsure or you think you need to think what is right. For example, any confidentiality issues, any fairness or favoritism. For example, the teacher somehow dealing with some of the issues, kamu berasa tidak adil. 你觉得这个老师在解决某一些情况的问题的时候，出现了你觉得可能不是很公平的对待。Okay, or somehow culture or religious sensitivity, child guidance or discipline. For example, how the teachers handle the conflict of the children or the discipline of the children. 那个老师他怎么样去处理跟解决小朋友纪律上的问题啊，或者是指导引导小朋友上面的问题的时候，你发现到一些你觉得you maybe you notice that there are something not exactly what you have learned during your diploma, then you can record down and then you write it. Why this situation means to you. Okay, for example, how are you going to write it? What happened? Apa yang telah berlaku? 它到底发生了什么事情？那个事情的经过是什么？Okay, and then why it is an ethical issues? 为什么这个是职业操守原则的一个问题？ All right, and then what did you do or what would you do if you are the person during that incident? Then you may think of what will you do? Okay, what did you do? And then if you are not, you just a witness, you are the one that see the things happen, then maybe you can write, if this happened to you in future, what would you do? Okay, so that is one of the things that during your practicum. Then after the practicum, okay, at the end of your practicum, try to reflect by using all the questions here. Alright, these are all the questions helping you to write 1 to 2 pages of this. Right, so overallly, semuanya is about 6 to 8 pages. OK，所以在这个部分大概是要6到8页左右。So please take note of that. So it's about like before that. So after today, you may start to do this. And then during your practicum, you need to do this. And then after the practicum, you need to write this. Okay, so that is the core of ethics. So usually apa yang kita akan mark regarding to the rubrics, we will look at how much you really understand about the ethical principle. And then did you really try to apply into the real situation? How is your reflection? Okay, any examples that you give a very clear examples or not? And then how is your technique of writing? Okay, so that is the things that we will mark on. So far, before we start to move into this one, any questions before you get dizzying? 有问题要问的吗？ So far so good. Masih boleh ikut saya? Okay, Alright, then we will move to the weekly reflection and professional goals. Since it says it's weekly, memang ini satu minggu satu keping. Alright, so every week you need to write a reflection. Okay, this reflection you need to write out every day. What are the things happening, or what are the things that you witness? What are the things that you saw? OK，atau kamu mengalami，你经历了什么？你看到了什么？或者是你做了什么东西？OK，so all these content you need to record down from Monday to Friday. So that's why I say it's good that you have a small notebook together with you. OK，jangan too much rely on the handphone. Handphone somehow is just helping you to take photo, but it might not be very detailed. Okay, but notebook somehow you can straightforward catat instead of you take handphone later on teacher will feel like ay kamu main handphone ka. Oh, so please be careful on that, huh? So this one you need to record down what are the things that you have experienced. Okay, and then after that you need to do reflection. So this content can be somehow you see that's happened to a child, or it might happen to you yourself, or it might happen to your class teacher or other colleagues, or even you yourself with the teacher, you yourself with the class teacher, you yourself with the children, you yourself with the parents, or other issues. Okay, so all the incidents happen, all the reflection can be banyak. Boleh banyak. Bukan sahaja murid, bukan sahaja kamu sendiri. Dia boleh satu ialah kamu dengan orang lain punya relationship, 你跟其他人的关系. For example, like the class teacher, the parents, and also others. Okay, and then next, after you experience, after you mengalami dalam minggu ini, then you start to plan for the next week. Minggu depan, apa yang kamu nak berusaha, okay, untuk menjadi lebih baik lagi? We say improve. Okay, 什么东西是你要作为一个目标，你要去改善的。Okay, so for example, in the very first week, I saw the children having some transition problems. We take a lot of time to do transition. Okay, cikgu selalu yang menjerit keep on saying something during the transition, and then it took about like 20 minutes. Sangat letih. Okay, reflection kamu buat. Then for the professional goals, maybe you can say, okay, untuk line up, mengurangkan masa. Okay, so saya pilihkan semasa toilet section. Okay, during the toilet section, we want children line up, and I want to reduce down the time to 15 minutes, for example. All right, so that can be your objective. So remember the goals are try to be very measurable. Try to use kata kerja, action verb. Okay, use the action words, 用动词 kata kerja, same as how you write your learning objective, and then be specific. What are the things that you want to target on? So your target can be a child, can be a group of children, can be whole class of children, or can be you yourself, or even with the parents. You see here with parents, or even with the class teacher. Memang dulu ada satu your senior, she said she tak tahu bagaimana communicate effectively dengan class teacher dia. Kerana class teacher itu memang tidak berapa peduli apa yang dia cakap dekat kelas. Contohnya dia cakap, cikgu, murid ini sekarang mereka tidak buat apa. Boleh saya bagi sikit aktiviti dengan mereka. Contohnya boleh saya baca buku cerita dengan mereka. Tapi kelas teacher itu terus abai apa yang dia cakap dan dia I think she left the class or what. So this student she is very hurt. She will say like, kenapa cikgu itu benci saya ke? Ada apa? Kenapa saya cuba bercakap dengan dia, dia tak peduli saya. So itulah dia nak berusaha tentang sebagai professional goals. So you can put on that also. Okay, and then when it comes to the strategy, kerana kamu ada goal sudah, you need to have strategy. For example, if I want children to learn to line out. Okay, apa yang saya boleh buat? Contohnya saya buat visual cue. Saya simpan footprint on the floor so that the children can follow the footprints. I might use the transition strategy, for example, loud music. Okay, I will sing the song line up, so that the children, when they listen to the song, they can line up immediately. Okay, so that is the strategies on how you improve. Okay, so after that, coming out news minggu yang terbaru, kamu cuba jalankan strategi ini. 所以在新的下个星期，你尝试用这些 strategy. Then after that, you will go and have a look on the outcomes. Adakah dia effective? Okay, does that work? Why or how? Okay, so please take note, the professional goals that you set tidak semestinya mesti mencapai dalam masa 1 minggu. Okay, I repeat, the professional goals that you set does not mean that compulsory or it must be settled, or we say it must be solved within that week. It might be taken up two weeks, 3 weeks, or even a month. So your professional goals can be a few weeks, masih sama. 它还是可以连续2-3个星期，甚至1个月是一样的。Tapi yang tidak sama ialah strategi. Kenapa? Kerana children might improve. Okay, the methods that you apply might somehow tidak berguna. You need to change to a new one. Okay, for example, line up. You cannot say, minggu ini mereka sudah boleh line up, boleh berbaris. Jadi saya tak perlu lagi untuk next week. Tidak. Somehow you need to have consistency for a few weeks. Baru mereka boleh. Faham apa saya cakap? So that's why the professional goals bukan semestinya 1 minggu baru punya. Next week baru punya. Tidak perlu. You can have like line up for 2 weeks. Okay, what you need to write is task outcome here. Contoh Okay, the masa untuk murid-murid berbaris memang kurangkan. Contohnya sebanyak 5 minit. Okay, so the methods that we use to reduce down the transition time, it works. Okay, it reduces how many minutes, but okay, I think we still need to continue because I still want children to more practice on that. So that is what you can write in the task outcome. So when you comes to the next new professional goals, you still can put in the the professional goals there, huh? Okay, so please take note of that. You can, for example, kalau kamu ada task outcome, contohnya they need to line out and then you are using the footprint as a proof. You may take the picture, right? Before, during, and after. Okay, before you implement, how's the situation? You can take photo, and then during you can take photo. Even you can do recording, but of course, all these you need to get the permission from the class teacher. Okay, and then also this is what we call one of the ethical sense lah. We need to protect their privacy. privacy. Their right. So all these things make sure you need to have a proof. Bukan semua tulis-tulis sahaja. Kamu boleh guna gambar, kamu boleh guna others recording as an evidence sebagai bukti that you really carry out. Okay, so that is the weekly reflection. And this one is the guideline. Apakah area? What are the areas that you can write in your learning, in your professional goals? Okay, so there are a lot of areas you may go and have a look if you really don't have. Okay, so biasanya children with special needs can be one of it. And then you yourself somehow you are weak in assessment, you are weak in writing lesson plan, you want to improve yourself, you even can put it as a professional goal. Okay, so that is the rubrics that how we marks on your weekly reflection and professional goals. And of course somehow you will tell you will say, hey Jaco, Monday to Friday bukan setiap hari memang saya ada benda untuk bagi saya buat refleksi.从星期一到星期五，不是每一次我都会看到事情的发生，或者是有一些事情激发我去做反思。OK, bolehkah saya tulis 4 ke? Boleh. OK, boleh. Tapi yang saya set, tapi ya standard ialah sekurang-kurangnya mesti ada 3 hari. 3 days. At least you need to write 3 days for that content for you to do reflection. OK 啊，那至少要有3天是有东西写的。OK，你不可能告诉我1个星期里面完全没有东西写。所以这个 this one is what I will say sekurang-kurang 3 hari, 3 issue, 3 incident yang kamu boleh tulis dan record sebagai reflection. Alright, so another one is the lesson plan format and also the for the language part and also science and mathematics. So you can straightforward use the template here if you want. Okay, and do remember for science subject, you need to include the teacher background information. Okay, and also English, math and science, you need to write what are the concept that you want to focus on. Okay, so if you forget apa itu math concept and science concept, go and do revision. Quickly go and find out whatever you have learned previously. Okay, so for the lesson plan, we also have the rubrics. Bagaimana kita bagi markah semua di sini, and also the literacy and numeracy assessment. Okay, pagi ini 1 budak sahaja. Okay, 1 child will be enough. But of course, as what I say in practicum 1, somehow you might need to have plan B lah. Okay, if the child really have some issues happening until that he really cannot handle setiap class and that affect the progress of your assessment, maybe you need to change to another child. Okay, please make sure you have plan B lah, in case later on you cannot finish this part. Okay, so ini satu lagi. So that is the practicum student evaluation. Okay, this evaluation form is your supervisor yang akan bagi markah kepada kamu. So kamu sendiri pun nak bacakan apa yang mereka akan bagi markah kepada kamu, iaitu professional competency. Adakah kamu selalu punctual, attendance, professionalism, appearance, interpersonal and communication. Bagaimana kamu communicate dengan cikgu, dengan supervisor. Okay, how's your communication skill? Boleh kamu adapt into the new environment? How you react when you feel stressed? Okay, and then the instructional and practice. Did you really be initiative and also responsible? How's your planning and preparation when you are teaching? Okay, is it productivity and efficient? And then how's your interaction and then your teaching? Do you have a good behavior management and classroom management? How did you do assessment and observation to make sure your teaching is effective? Right? And also, did you have a very good professional reflection? So all this is the supervisor, they will give you the marks. Huh? And then this is somehow when they go and observe your teaching. Setiap kali lima maka. Okay, every time they will pass on the rubrics here to give you marks. Then somehow they will give comments. Huh? So setiap student, okay, every one of you, supervisor will go and observe you at least 2 times. At least 2 times. Huh? So it depends on when mereka pergi tengok kamu. Okay, kali pertama, the very first observation, supervisor they will inform you. Dia akan beritahu kamu bila dia pergi observe kamu. Tapi kali kedua, for the second time of observation, they will not inform you, which means they will pop in any time. They will pop in anytime. They will not inform you. So you will need to be ever ready when the supervisors to come in and have a look on you. Okay. Then next one is the class teacher assessment. So ini kalau boleh semakin awal kamu sediakan, kamu cetakan untuk cikgu itu lebih bagus lah. Beritahu class teacher, tell the class teachers that at the end of your practicum, they need to evaluate you. Okay, let them to get ready and read through the evaluation form until the last week that you are going to finish your practicum. Remind the class teacher. Tell them to fill all the things, evaluate kamu, and then make sure they seal it in the envelope. Simpan dalam envelope, tapi juga seal, okay? Sealkan dia supaya kamu tak dapat buka lah. Ha? Hanya supervisor ada hak untuk tengok. The supervisor have the rights to read. You yourself, you cannot open unless you really curious. Kamu terus tanya cikgu itulah. Okay, if the class teacher is okay to let you know. Huh? Alright, so this one, please be careful on it. And then another one, if they really cannot put in the envelope and give to the supervisor, another way is they can use email. Okay, they can use email. Huh? All right, so the rest is the different peoples, they have their own different rules. Of course, you yourself also kamu punya peranan dengan tanggung jawab kamu. So go and have a read on all of this. Apa yang kamu perlu buat, what you need to do as a practicum student. So everything are written here. So if you have times after today, go and have a look, read it carefully for every details. Okay, so that is all what we have covered for the practicum booklet. Any questions? Fine. 2 classes means that maybe their syllabus is different. So what you can do is 4 classes, satu lesson plan, 5 years old satu lesson plan, 4 years old satu lesson plan. Boleh macam itu. Kamu boleh pilih lah. If the teacher, if the principal requires you to, what we say, run for 2 classes, maybe you can choose 5 years old instead of 4 lah. But if you have no choice, you need to stay at 4, then go and stay at 4. That will be good lah. Okay, it depends because some of the school, if I'm not mistaken, subject teacher kerana mereka berdasarkan subjek. So for example, if you are English, teaching English, cikgu itu kalau dia ajar 5 years old, mungkin dia ada 3 kelas, memang dia akan ajar 3 kelas, 3 kali topik itu. Okay, so if based on this one, still consider as one lesson plan, tapi the students, because their standard is different, so they might adjust the activity or the learning standard lah, that we say. Okay, so it depends on how you make the arrangement with the class teacher. Yes, according to the books and also their exercises. Okay, so which means the independent activity might be very traditional. Okay, might be very traditional based on the school, based on the school program. Of course, no choice. So when you are writing your lesson plan, in the teacher material, try to attach the textbook. Okay, for example, bab yang berapa muka surat itu, sila kamu ambil foto, kamu attach ke dalam lesson plan kamu. Because the supervisor might not have the textbook. So it's better you attach. Okay, attach the isi kandungan yang kamu akan ajar ke dalam bahan atau teaching material sana. Include the exercises that you are going to give to the children. Okay, Anand? And also maybe you meet up with your supervisor. If you can, bring together the textbook and also the exercise book. All right? Yes, but we don't say 1 week how many. I'm going to show you this, then you will have more clear on that. That is another documents that I will give to you later. Okay, so that this is the document, another document that I'll give to you. It's it's the practicum schedule. Okay, so when you get this, all the highlight yellow color one, please go and change to your own information. Okay, go and change to your own information. And then these are all the examples for you to see. Try not to amend the items. Okay, sila jangan tukar atau buat pembetulan tentang items ini. Okay, 不要去改 items 里面的东西。Apa yang kamu boleh buat pembetulan ialah yang highlight punya. Okay, 全部 highlight 的东西你都可以改，没有的不要改。Tak ada highlight punya jangan buat pembetulan. Yang boleh buat pembetulan ialah supervisor kamu. Okay, all the items here, supervisor they have the rights to do the correction, to do the amendment. All right. So always take notes. For the kindergarten practicum, satu morning, we will calculate maximums up to 5 hours. Maximums up to 5 hours. So jangan tanya saya sudah, kalau saya mula berapa, pukul berapa, balik pukul berapa, boleh saya kira berapa jam macam itu kah? Tak perlu. Saya sudah beritahu kamu, maksimum satu hari 5 jam. Okay, unless like Daniela will be another calculation. Okay, so this one, please take note, you need to note down bila ada public holiday, bila school holiday, etc. etc. So based on the items, kerana you cannot do a pembetulan, yang biasanya it's already fixed lah. So inside here, the items they will tell you setiap minggu, every week, what are the things you need to do. And then when you come to meet your supervisor, what are the things that you need to hand in for her to check. Okay, so everything's are already listed down for you. For example, the first week, tengok kamu yang akan buat, you need to get used to the class routine, knowing your class teacher and children. And then you need to complete your task, observation task. That's all. So in the first week, kita tidak panggil kamu ajar. Okay, tapi kamu perlu sediakan banyak benda semasa kamu jumpa supervisor kamu. So of course some of the things that you can prepare earlier because our briefing already done. For example, like kindergarten punya profile philosophy dengan ini. Okay, this 1, 2, 3 you can complete before you start your practicum. Alright, so all these things sila bersedia untuk semasa kamu jumpa practicum supervisor kamu lah. So every week memang kita telah beritahu kamu apa yang kamu perlu buat. Okay, so if you realize, usually we will set how many teaching lesson plan that you can plan. Okay, for example, if you think like 2 is really too heavy for you, you want to make it 1, you can negotiate, you can discuss with your supervisor. Okay, but of course, if you realize that setiap minggu akan semakin banyak tentang lesson plan kamu. So at the end here, there is one table. Jadual ini dekat sini is help you to calculate how many lesson you already carry out. And also we want you to balance all the subjects that as long as you need to teach setiap subject. Jangan semua satu subjek sahaja. It's not balanced. You cannot learn anything. Alright. So however I mess up here 1 sampai 7 ialah compulsory. Kamu mesti ajar sekurang-kurang 2 kali. Okay. All the subject that I write here from 1 to 7, you need to teach at least twice. Okay, kenapa 2 kali? Kerana kali pertama, you still new to that subject. Tapi kali kedua, memang kamu ada idea sudah. Alright. So, kalau, okay, satu lagi ialah situasi macam ini. Some of the school, they combine bahasa Malaysia dengan suku kata bersama. Atau bahasa English dengan phonics bersama. It depends on the kindergarten, but some of the kindergarten mereka memang pisahkan dia. 它一定是分开 They are not in the same section. 它不是在同一个时间教 Then that will be better. Kalau dia memang bersama, kamu boleh negotiate lah. Kita cakap discuss dengan sekolah kelas cikgu itu. Bolehkah 1 hari ajar bahasa Melayu, 1 hari ajar suku kata? Okay, because as we know, as we learned already, ini memang 2 konsep yang tidak sama. Susah kita nak gabungkan. Okay, so you can explain to the teacher whether you want to separate it or you want to challenge yourself. Gabungkan semua, kamu ajarlah. I don't know. Okay, it depends on the school. So, kalau macam itu, then you need to calculate. Here I already say minimum sebelum kamu habiskan kamu punya practicum, you need to teach at least 20 lesson plan. 20 lesson. Okay, 实习结束前至少要教到20堂课。So you can have more, but you cannot less than 20. So this is how you calculate your subject and then try to be balanced to every areas. Valerie asked, 1 week, first week of practicum must be 5 days, or as long as first week tasks are completed. First week, usually we will call it as an observation week. So it's better you need to finish your observation task on the first week. So 5 days you can separate. Maybe Monday to Wednesday you do task 1. Thursday to Friday you do task 2. It depends on you. As long as the 2 tasks of the observation is done in the very first week. Okay, Anna, am I answering your question? OK 啊，一个星期5天的时间去做 observation task，你要怎么分配是你的事情。总之，必须在第一个星期把它完成掉，因为接下来每一个星期你都是要教课的了。OK 啊，So if you look at the items here, okay, things to hand in after the first week. Okay, kamu tengok after the first week, sini tak ada observation task lagi. No more observation task inside here. Okay, and then what you need to do is prepare for the assessment already. Okay, so please take note of that. Any other questions?
Miss Helena，我想问一下，就是因为我有问过practicum Montessori 那边，他是说我们只有下午才可以教课，因为我们早上不能说去打扰他们的课程，所以我们的时间是怎么算的？
那你有没有问你们早上可以做什么呢？
怎么讲？
就是说你下午教课的话，请问你早上在幼稚园那一边，你们的角色是什么？然后
我们就是
你们要做一些什么事情？
我们就是好像说帮忙那个老师管那个班，就是看着那个班这样子，然后到下午时候我们才能够说带出我们的 lesson plan。
OK，那如果是下午的话，我要问，请问下午你们可以教几堂课？
下午的话应该是一堂吧，因为这小朋友睡醒过后吃 snack 过后就是那一堂。
OK，那如果是这样子，你看哦，如果
嗯
说其他人他们早上他们可以教2堂课，可是你一个下午只可以教1堂课，那你的进度会不会影响？
不
你懂我的
确定。
意思吗？你知道我在问什么吗？
怎么说？
同样是半天，对吗？只是你的半天在下午。
嗯
OK，那例如说，英英他们在富马利，他们早上半天，可是他们接下来每一天的教课，他可以教2堂、3堂课。每天啊，我就讲一个星期了，一个星期可能2、3。那如果说今天你好像是跟他们是吗？OK，你跟他们会在同一个班吗？
不会。
这个是我们要考量的。那如果不会的话，它会不会影响你教多少堂课的次数？
不会，因为就是每一个星期都可以每一天都可以带一个 lesson plan 出来这样子。
每一天都可以带一个。
对对。
那如果说如果是下午的话，学生人数跟早上的会一样吗？
会一样，因为他们就中午回的就已经回了，然后到下午五点回的就是5点回。
嗯哼。
会有一些是 full day 的，然后 half day 的是他们中午就回了，然后full day 的话是4点半就这样子就回。
那你我就讲，如果说只是到下午才教课的话，那剩下多少个学生给你们教？
这个我还没有问的。
嗯，因为这个为什么我会这么问哈？这个会影响到你真实的去体验一个学校的状况。因为你如果说今天早上 早上来讲，这个班正常的人数一般上小朋友是24个，可是到下午的时候，他只有8个。那给你来说，当然你的好处是什么？你的 class management 很容易，因为只有8个学生。但是这个对你以后的实际教学经验，它其实是对你没有帮助的，因为以后你出来做工，你要面对的是24个学生，而不是8个学生。你知道我的意思吗？
我知道。
对。那当然还是可以实习的，只是我还是允许，只是说这个是给你自己来说，你觉得对你以后的经验教学啊有帮助吗？这个你要自己去思考。那当然，如果真的只有下午去教课的话，我们就只能够算下午的时间给你。
OK。
嗯。然后下午教课的话，请问还是一样用他们的课本吗？
应该没有。
那怎么你们知道怎么要教什么东西嘞？对吗？那如果是这样子，怎么样去规定说星期一下午你要教什么，星期二下午你应该要教什么，星期三下午你应该要教什么？明白我的意思吗？
OK， 明白。
所以这个你要可能你要再去问清楚一下。
OK。
Others, do you still have any questions? No? All right, if no, then whatever the documents today I'll show you, I will put into the Telegram group. So please make sure you are in the group. And then I will assign a leader to get the letter from me. And then you need to print out, the leader need to help me to print out the letter and then gather all your friends to go and meet with the principals before you start your practicum. And then those who are a group under the same supervisor, different supervisors, they will have different parameters on how they get contact with you. So Miss Shirley, of course, she would like to have WhatsApp lah. So maybe satu orang sila beritahu dia, is that okay to open a group for WhatsApp? So you invite all the people to join into the group. I think some of you during practicum one kamu sudah under dia punya supervision. So sila tolong contact lah. And then for Miss Amira, maybe Eliana and Vivian, maybe you try to reach her by using her email. Kamu ada dia punya email kah?
Tidak
Eliana
ada,
and
Bu.
Vivian?
Tidak
Tak
ada.
ada. Nanti, wait I think I will telegram to give you her email so you can email her and then ask her which is the most convenient way for you to contact her lah. And then for siapa lagi? Miss Josephine, Valerie, no problem to contact her lah. For me, Shaman, Incy, Cindy, and Wei Wei, four of you, I need you to create a Telegram group for me. So four of you, you must be inside the group lah. And then for Daniela and Joanna, I will give you Miss Crystal's punya email. Try to make sure you contact her as soon as possible. And then Fion and Ining also. I think you can have Miss Doreen's contact number through the ECE group, right? Fion and Ining，你们那个 ECE 的 group 里面应该是有他的 WhatsApp number 哈，所以你们可以私下去找他了哈。And then 我还有漏掉谁吗 ？No 了，no more. Okay. So if no problems, then always please pay attention to the Telegram group. Whatever regards to your practical issue, please always go and ask your supervisor. Okay, Miss Helen, only help you to do the admin job only. Only some things that supervisor is uncertain, they are not confirmed, they will go to me. All right. Another thing is, please take note, practicum 2, tidak perlu buat settle. Again, for practicum, no need to do settle. And then after you finish, of course, I will remind in the group, you need to email me your final practicum file, soft copy. You need to email it to me. And then before you graduate, I might send a graduate link to you and make sure you fill the form. Okay, so if no problems, that's all for today. And please make sure you keep contact with your supervisor and then somehow pay attention to the announcement that I have made in the Telegram. Then lastly, double check for your UCMS. Have you enrolled your practicum 1 and 2? If not yet, quickly fill the add and drop form sent to your mentor. Okay, because somehow UCMS the system will go wrong. So double check your UCMS, and then make sure you pay your school fee. Make sure you pay your fee. So that's all for today. Thank you for coming. Bye, and God bless for your final practicum.